If your Samsung vented all-in-one keeps pausing during the dry cycle, this connector might be why. I found it getting up to 420 degrees Fahrenheit, and that tiny bad connection could be acting like a heater inside the machine. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about this Samsung vented all-in-one washer and dryer combo unit. And if you're getting error code HC2, this might be the video for you. Make sure you watch the entire video because there are all kinds of important details that you're going to need to know if you're having this problem. It's not just as simple as replacing a wiring harness. Also, don't forget to hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos just like this one. If you haven't watched my latest videos on this HC2 error to see where I've came from and what's happened, you need to make sure you go through and watch those videos. I'll link those down in the description below. I'm also going to link any relevant parts. With these units being so new, it is hard to find the right parts sometimes. Only in the last few months have we been able to find aftermarket parts for these. If you're having problems with your machine, leave me a comment down in the comment section below. But anyway, let's get into it. If you are not comfortable around high voltage electricity, please find somebody that is certified to repair these units. Call Samsung support, get a service tech out, find somebody that you can trust to repair your appliance the correct and proper way. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. Anything that you do is at your own risk. It's not just about, replacing a wiring harness. There's a lot of really crucial details. First, we're gonna go over what I think the problem was caused from, why it's getting worse, why I needed a second wiring harness, and why just replacing the wiring harness might not work for you. Don't just skip through this video and say, oh, just replacing the wiring harness is good. You spent $210 and you're mad at me because you didn't watch the full video. Overall, I think Samsung used a good quality wire. They used a 12 gauge stranded core wire. I have some wire strippers here and the 12 gauge fit just perfectly between the wires. It didn't cut any of the wires. I think 10 would have actually snipped some of them. Here's what I think happened. I think this is the root cause, and then how do we fix it? But that's what we're gonna go into next, is what was actually the cause. I used a good wire, but then why are we having these problems? I think what happened is somewhere at the factory, now I don't know this for sure, but whenever these machines are getting assembled, that connector needs to be extremely tight, potentially needs to face the correct direction, and direction being because that wire is being twisted in a way. If it's got any sort of like crazy different bend or twist in it, it can cause electrical resistance to increase in that area and burn up that section. I think if that wire is twisted the wrong way, the resistance builds up in that area, could potentially cause the wire to go bad over time. Mine seemed to be fine. It wasn't twisted in an odd way. It was oriented correctly. I ended up having the problem again. So what could have been the cause? I don't think that the connection, the Spade connector, was tight enough from the factory. What I think happened is it had just enough give to where it didn't make the solid connection to draw that current through at 240 volt and ended up having too much resistance. So what does that mean? Over time, that electrical resistance increases heat. I actually ended up getting what looks like a spot weld on the electrical connection tab to my heater element. That's a problem, and I want you to fix it. This is a crucial piece of information. That's why you don't need to skip this video or any part of this video. It's a crucial piece of information. I know I talk a lot, but it's important details. If you have any bad sections on that metal connector to your heating element, if you just replace that connector or the whole thing, it could potentially cause increased resistance again. Even though you got everything else perfect, you're still gonna have that problem in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. It's still going to come back. So what does that mean? We've got to inspect the whole thing. Now listen, before you do anything, you make sure you turn your power off at the breaker or you unplug this thing from the wall. Potentially 240 volt at this connector. That could make for just a bad day. This wire right here is the blue wire we're looking at. You can see how new it looks down here, right there, and then just how hot it's gotten right here. It's rated for 105 degrees Celsius, which is 175 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's rated for 600 volts. I mean, that's the good wire. But here's where I think that Samsung messed up, and where I think they could do better in the future. So we're gonna get our handy dandy magnet out. This is why I think that they did not use the appropriate connector, and it is not magnetic. You know, I saw it from the factory after they replaced it the first time. It is, I'm pretty sure it's stainless steel. I don't know the exact alloy. I'm only guessing. I'm just saying, I think it's stainless steel. That would be a lower end connector, in my opinion. Stainless steel is typically expensive, but for something like this, maybe we end up using a nickel plated Something with a high nickel content that is rated for like 900 degrees. Why are you breaking out the thermal imaging sensors, you might be saying? Remember I said that cable is rated for 105 degrees Celsius. Well, that's 221 degrees Fahrenheit. The problem with that is on some places on that electrical connector where the blue wire connects to the heating element, we were seeing temperatures at 420 degrees. That's almost double the specs and the maximum temperature on the insulation on that wire. 221 degrees is the max and we're seeing 420 degrees. It's not good. That is why you can see how bubbled and messed up that this connector is right here. I think there's some things they could have done better, but I think there's things they did great. They used a industry grade wire, but it can be better. Just because everybody uses it doesn't mean it can't be better. I don't think they used the right Spade connector. I think it needed more nickel in it to give it a higher operating or maximum temperature range. I think at the factory, maybe that connection wasn't crimped the right way on all these machines and it potentially caused an issue. And you've got so many connections in here, there's one that's bound to have gone bad. The only problem is, it's probably one of the only 240 volt connections in this entire unit, and probably one of the most important connections. That's the one of any that should have gotten the most tender love and care. It's obviously caused some issues on my machine. Let's move on to how you fix it. I'm putting this video out there because there was a guy that commented on one of my other videos and said that Samsung was too far away to get a tech out there to fix his problem. They negotiated on a price. He is gonna have to fix it himself. And so I got to thinking, you might just say, well, I could just split that off, throw another connector on there and move on. You cannot just go to the auto parts store and get a replacement connector and call it a day. Even if you take this wire and you splice it, that splice could potentially become a heater itself if the resistance between those two connection bonding points is too high. Remember that. There's 240 volts running through that wire. If you get anything wrong, it could potentially become a heating point too. Too much resistance, electrical resistance, is gonna cause a hot spot, and the same thing could potentially happen. You need high quality parts, and I'm gonna link those down in the description below or give you general ideas of what to use. Now again, I can't make these actual repairs. I'm gonna guide you through what I would do. Now remember, first thing, power needs to be off to this machine. This is the blue wire, this is the white wire, and down there is the brown. The blue connector, when it comes around in this wiring harness, comes down there like this. This connector is supposed to be like this. We got this wire, right? And this is how it came a week after. There's quite a bit of extra room, and you can see that connection there, right there. Okay, so that's where it ends, but we don't want this piece down there to be too close to this metal. So we're just gonna have to be really careful with that. What you could do is you could look at this wire, and you could potentially cut off the bad parts. Now remember, I'm not telling you exactly what to do, but you could cut it down here, make sure the inside of the wire is okay, and then you could re-terminate a new end on that connection. My first wiring harness on here, it was actually split in two right there at that connection. Most of this down through here was bad, and the only way to replace it was to basically cut this off right here. Basically, we had to replace the whole wiring harness because it had bubbled all the way down through here, and the wire inside was too, and it was cut in half. If you're replacing this connector, it may not be the only fix. So I'm gonna go through that here in just a second, but cut this off and then put a new connector on there. It cannot be just like an automotive one. It needs to be a high quality, high nickel content. I will link those down in the description below. It needs to be a good quality connection. Now, if you need to replace more of this cable, just be really cautious. I'm gonna link all the stuff that you need down below, but you're probably gonna end up having to cut this off and then splice it somewhere down through here, or just replace the whole cable and then rewrap it in a thermal tape that's not going to melt. It's potential that you could possibly get away with just replacing a small section, like maybe to here or here, but it needs to be away from the heat. If it's here and you cause a heater problem right above this connector, could possibly have issues right here too. It would be better to just replace the entire harness. I'll put a link to that down in the description below as well. I think if you just replaced the whole harness, it's $200 and some right now, but there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to fix the problem. Let me show show you this. So right there, I don't know if you can see that on that connector. That pitted section, I'll put a picture of that too up. That pitted section right there is probably the cause of the issues. When that spade connector gets put on there like that, it causes high electrical resistance. It causes increased temperatures. It causes the spade connector to basically just split apart. It causes increased temperatures. You could see that from the previous videos that I've done. Basically, I think that's the problem. We're having high increased electrical resistance causing crazy high temperatures like 400 plus degrees, and it's just causing things to expand. So at this point, what should you do? I think you've got two options. You either replace the whole wiring harness, or you replace the spade connector, or the spade connector plus some extra wire. Okay, so maybe three options. If you do that, doing it at your own risk. It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy, and you know, you run some risks there. Just remember, you cannot go to the auto parts store and get one of these and expect it to work and not just burn up. You need a high quality spade connector. What I would do, I would take some electric parts cleaner. I would take some and I would spray it on a lint-free paper towel and see if there's anything you can get off. We just want to clean off any oils, any residues, anything that you might be able to get off of that connector that's causing that increased resistance. That terminal should be shiny and new. If it is dark, pitted, welded, has any type of deformation like mine does, about the only thing that you can do is use something like a Scotch-Brite pad, brass brush, something like that that can maybe knock off some of that. We're just trying to basically polish the surface. Do not use sandpaper, do not use a Dremel, do not use anything stupid abrasive. We are just trying to polish the surface of it. You can try that even if you have discoloration. Here's the problem. That might have been deformation of the actual connector itself, and potentially if it got hot enough, it could be annealed, meaning that it's changed the chemical structure of the steel. It may not actually be annealing, but getting that temperature up to 400, 420 degrees over and over and over again is absolutely hot enough to affect spring temper of that spade connector, the hardness of the connector itself, and actually increase any oxidation that may be happening. So that is where most of these problems are going to be coming from. And you might end up having the problem again, and the only way to really fix it is to replace that electric heating assembly. Not found it online. Probably gonna have to call Samsung support. I think they only sell this whole unit as like an entire upper assembly base. That's a problem. So if I ever run across one of these in the future with this problem, I'll figure it out more in detail, but right now that's really all I've got to go on. Whenever you put this connection on, it needs to be super tight. I cannot stress that enough. If it's not super tight and have a crazy good connection, you will have the same problem again, it may be worse. Super tight. Now, like this one is a 1210 gauge, non-insulated. Don't just go to the hardware store and buy a set like this and think that it's going to work. Those are not rated for that wattage, not rated for those temperatures. Once you're done cleaning off that connection, got your wire crimped. Now remember, whenever you're crimping the wire, make sure there's no crazy bends in it. The way that you've got it crimped isn't going to cause the other wires to be closer to the heating element. Once you're done polishing that connector, that's when we're going to clean it with this electric parts cleaner. Do not use dielectric grease on this. It's not made for that. So we got the two groups of people. One, have to replace the wire. If you're going to do that, you're going to need to make sure the wire is replaced down. Maybe even the whole thing, because it's really not even that far. You're just going to have to strip it off and then just like redo it. Or just replace the wiring harness, but make sure your tab looks okay. Investigative part of this is probably the most crucial. Everybody's going to have a different scenario. You might have a good tab on your electrical connection. The next person might have a bad wire and a bad tab. Or the next person might only have a bad tab and a good spade connector. Probably not. More likely, if they have a bad tab, you got a bad wire too. You may replace the harness and still have a problem. You have to investigate that middle tab on the heater element. That's basically it. I'm trying to do the best I can. If I had a spare harness to do, I would show you guys exactly what to do, but I don't have a harness and I can't do it to this one, or I can't send it back. My hands are tied. Doing the best I can, guys. So anyway, I hope this video has helped you. If it did, let me know down in the comment section below. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to my channels and all my other social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Anyway, that's it. This is probably the final update on this unless somebody else gives me more information, but putting this video out there for people that may not have service in their area or may not be able to get service in their area and they really don't know what to do. Wish you guys luck. God bless you. Also, don't forget to hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos just like this one.